Alright, well, what's going on, LPX community? Andrew Wong here again for LPX Tech. Back again for another video. I'm keeping my promises of keeping up these weekly live streams. I am starting this one a little bit late, so I do apologize for those of you who do want to watch me live. But most of you are probably watching this in the post-recording. So welcome to another video. Today we're going to be talking about a popular topic that I've been getting a lot of requests for, and it's about both these headsets. Most importantly, augmented reality. Pretty much right now on the market, you have the new HoloLens. Oh, sorry, over here. The new HoloLens that is out right now, which has been in its, I believe, the second and a half generation. And then you have the Magic Leap that's about to release their creator versions right now that just finally released kind of what their devices would kind of look like. They've been hyping a lot in the last couple of years about their company. They raised over $2 billion. It's worth over $6 billion for a headset company, essentially. And it's been building a lot of hype, and I've been getting a lot of questions to do a comparison video about these videos and these headsets, and kind of along the lines of which one do I prefer. And so I'll be talking about that, and then during the second part of the video, I'll be talking a little bit more about kind of my take on augmented reality, where I see the future of it, and do I personally believe in it, as well as what I would like to see out of it in the future. So just a quick thing before I get into this video, guys. For those of you who are joining me live, thank you. For those of you who are joining me in the post-recording of this, this is obviously going to be a live discussion and a long video. If you couldn't attend, please go ahead and leave a comment down below during the video, and even suggestions for the next video in the future. But without further ado, let's go ahead and begin the debate. Essentially, right off the bat, guys, design-wise, I'm going to go with the HoloLens here. I actually got to use one of the first prototypes of the HoloLens when they initially launched it back in my last company. I got to kind of tease around with it a little bit, and the first versions of these ones actually was the Google Glass, which I did get to play around with. I actually made a couple UI videos for the last company I worked at for it, and I was instantly hooked. I don't know if you guys followed me before, but I don't see virtual reality or augmented reality on the same page. If anything, I believe in them both wholeheartedly. But I was definitely sold on the augmented reality technology with the Google Glass from day one. I've personally been wanting it. I've just been waiting very patiently. I know it's going to be years until it gets down to about this size, but it will get there eventually. But for those of you who thought the Google Glass was just a fad, it was just stupid, I get it. It really wasn't that useful. It was a little bit sluggish, and it was a gimmick. But it was a proof of concept that I thought worked. Obviously, the public wasn't ready for them. That's why you have these ones right now. These are mostly now real use ones. They're not for really daily usage. That's kind of, I'll be talking about a little bit later. But in terms of the work environment usage, I got to see a little bit. I'm pretty sure the images and the quality have gotten a lot clearer since since the initial launches. But but the first ones that I used, the images were still pretty blurry in terms of, like, you can still see it clearly. It was still faded because they're still perfecting how to project the images onto the glass perfectly and everything, especially in the different lightings. It's for those of you who question why $2 billion went into this headset, it's the technology required to make AR work naturally and make it seem seamless. Like the videos you guys watch of them, like especially with Magic Leap's presentation videos of them, like the whales coming out of the ground in the water and everything, takes a lot of not just processing power, but the little projector that has to reflect onto those lenses. And both of you, if you guys can notice, both lenses are not clear. They are shaded because they need to absorb and be able to reflect the images that are projected onto them from the headsets. That's not a design. That's not a design feature. That's actually for functionality of it. But a lot of technology goes into this, because I know a lot of you guys are wondering, like, why is it worth so much money on both their respective parties in terms of values? It's a piece of technology. The different sensors, the cameras, the projectors, the lenses that have to be used and developed, everything that you see a part of these headsets has to be developed from the ground up. Yes, they may have recycled some parts here and there, but a lot of effort. For me, I'm giving both companies credit for the amount of effort that they've been putting in to both these respective headsets. Now, some of the initial reviews for the Magic Leap have been a little bit lackluster. The first thing that most of the people, and obviously they couldn't really release too much information on their first use of it because of NDAs. So unless you actually go onto the creative platform and got one of those development prototypes, obviously I can't use it or anything like that. So we can only talk to about the design language and what the initial people could, have said. And right off the bat, that the design leaves a lot to be desired. I mean, let's just be honest. I was going to bring up some desktop pictures, but just by the looks, the HoloLens is definitely a lot better looking. The first one, I can tell you guys right now, it was big, it was heavy, but like every piece of technology, it gets smaller. I mean, look at TVs. They went from the LCD TVs, for example. They went from being like pretty thick, and now they're literally wallpaper thin. Like LG released their little rollable screen. That's coming out. They're both heading in the right direction. Even the Magic Leap, I'll give it credit. It's sort of ugly. Some people might like it. They look like freaking like aviator goggles from like back in the day. But look how small it is compared to the HoloLens. It is smaller. It does take up less space. But the projected area is smaller. I'm kind of nitpicking here in terms of I wonder how much they're really going to be able to project onto that lens and how big the camera is and everything. So it's going to be really interesting to see how the Magic Leap does compare to the HoloLens in real world use. Once my Microsoft Store gets a proper demo unit in my area, I'm going to go definitely play around the new generation version. If not, I actually might sign up for the demo kit of both versions. As a YouTuber, I can sign up for these things and hopefully I get approved. I mean, I do have to pay for it. It's the only unfortunate part. I'm not big enough to get these for free. So this is where the future Patreon will come into play. But until then, we'll have to our fingers crossed and wait. In terms of usage, it seems like a lot of people say like they're both around the same weight, which is, a lot of people might say, oh, it's hard to believe this thing's much bigger, but it's mostly a lot of plastic going around, so it's actually not too much weight on your face. But I believe both are headed in the right direction. I mean, let's just be honest here. Like, a lot of people were thinking when they first saw the first HoloLens, they're just like, it's ridiculous. They're going to have to wear this big honking piece in your head to use this thing, as well as you have cables running down it. And they both still do. Both still require a direct connection to a box or the PC directly for you to be able to use it. So you are still tethered. Just like the virtual reality, you're still tethered to a machine, so you're not truly free roaming. And so in this case, they're both about the same in terms of actual usability in an open environment setting. Now, the Magic Leap does take it a step further and is almost pure wireless. And correct me if I'm wrong on the HoloLens. I haven't really dove too much into the recent version yet, but I'm not sure if it's fully fully portable just yet. If they are, they're pretty much on par in terms of usability. I can't really talk too much about the UI interface of the Magic Leap yet, how it actually incorporates hand gestures and the hand interactions in the user interface like the HoloLens does. The be able to pinch, zoom, and select with your hand. Oh my god, I'm just imagining being able to use it myself here. It's not quite, so we'll have to wait and see on the real world use of it. In terms of pricing, I don't know on the pricing of the Magic Leap 1. I think that's what they're calling it. The website's cool. Finally, I looked at the website to get some more information on it. Definitely a really fun, really unique way of scrolling through the website, essentially, if you guys do visit it. But in terms of, they have a lot to live up to. Ever since they first showed the initial, even my wife's been sharing videos about their conceptual videos and everything. My thing with them is, if they don't deliver on that image, it's gonna be a failure. Because from the images I've seen from their test images and everything, it looks similar to the HoloLens. So they're not really sticking out in terms of what are they doing differently. And my thing is, like, there's so much hype, and the valuation of this company, I feel like it's a little bloated. But they might be banking on the whole, like, they can resell the sensors and the camera systems and the lenses all separately to different companies. But there's a lot of big tech firms invested into this. I mean, Google being one of them. I mean, there is a lot, and that kind of caught me off guard, because I thought Google was developing their Google Glass 2 or like their Google Glass something of their alliance, or they could be co-developing. There actually might be an agreement between the two companies, and this is why the valuation might be high, that Google is helping this company Google is helping Magic Leap to develop their sensors and their units in order to develop their own. Which is, if it is the case, it's kind of, I don't quite know. I can't really quite answer that, to be honest. But they are definitely doing something, and them backing it is absolutely huge, because they do have their resources, like all the resources that they've been pulling at that company. And I know Microsoft's definitely partnered up with a few people themselves, but it's really interesting to see where it's gone. And my quick take on the Versus video, I still prefer the HoloLens over the Magic Leap. I was really disappointed with the look. I mean, once again, you don't have to, like, look at the HTC Vive. I mean, it wasn't winning any design contests out there. The Oculus Rift definitely was a better design headset. The Sony Morpheus or the Sony VR definitely looks better, but it was the most usable out of the three units, in my opinion, when it first came out. And if you guys want, I'll talk about VR a little bit afterwards. So those of you who are joining me live, yo, what's up? Holiday Evolution, Perry Freeman, and Damian Santos. What's going on, guys? I'll go ahead and I'll talk about I do have some opinions about the Vive, positive and negative, going there, but it will be different in terms of the Magic Leap will win if the usability of it. So being able to be that portable, it's going to be very crucial on how fast it responds, how smooth it is, and just the overall usability of it. If it ends up being a lot smoother and just being able to be tetherless than the HoloLens, then it will win. It will be better. It would have because the thing is, just like any piece of technology, if you're going to come after somebody, Microsoft already released theirs for now a couple years. They're on their second, third generation of headsets. If you're coming in with your very first model, you've been developing during that same time, you better be damn sure to be better than your competitor, at least on par with the current unit. And if it's anything less, I think that's a failure. And so the HoloLens will win outright in that aspect. Even if they're par, the HoloLens wins. Because they've been working in the last few years to make it smaller, more portable, work on the design and the user interface with the mass market. You're coming out for just creators and content developers right now. And if it's not better, I feel like that's a fail. It's just like why I criticize Apple all the time, like especially with the watch. It came out after most of the other companies released their respective Android Wear watches. Samsung released their Gears, the Pebble Watch, etc., etc. The fact that it was missing several key features that made the smartwatches very appealing, it was a fail. I mean, yes, it's still sold. I mean, okay, I judge technology companies in terms of, did they make a better product? That's all I focus on. If I was focusing on the finances of success and everything, this would be a financial company. This would be a financial channel and everything. But the sound is horrible. Oh, I guess my hold on. Let me lower the. Hopefully that's a little bit better. Let me know if my audio improved by doing that. I do apologize. I am using a Snowball right now. Not my regular mic, so I do apologize. Wait, my sound is very low. Let me raise it up then. How's that? We're doing a quick mid-session fix here. How's that sound, guys? Yo, Baby Bob. Of course I remember you. I remember all my, even Perry. Perry Freeman's a long-time subscriber. Thank you. Taking a mid-session break here. Is that better? Sounds better, guys? All right. Okay, that's good. All right. Should I raise it a little bit higher, or during this break? By the way, obviously, for those of you, I do apologize for this break for those of you who are watching this post-recording, but obviously you are one of my loyal followers. You're going to watch too. So there we go. All right, it is better. I do apologize. I will put a little something in the middle. Apologize. I'm going to put in the description right now about the video, the audio in the beginning being a little low, so hold on a sec. I'll do that afterwards. We're doing this live. Yeah, of course. Yeah, all of you guys are long-time subscribers. I mean, why else would you be joining me at 10:30 in the evening? It's good to see you guys. It really is. Let me raise a little bit more. I don't want to go too high here, but yeah, no, I've missed all of you. There's a reason. I'm pushing myself a little bit today, but I'm making my solemn promise to you guys to keep these videos up once a week. I know it's not the heydays of my channel back in the day, but these discussions were kind of the best part of doing these videos with you guys in the past. So this is what I'm gonna keep doing, and hopefully I can make some videos for you guys in the future. But now that the audio is better, let's get back onto the topic here. So as I just said, I do believe, sorry, I'm getting mixed up here. The HoloLens does win, but pending on the actual initial reviews of the Magic Leap. And we'll just kind of see where it goes. But overall, though, I'm happy that both of these products are out. I'm happy that Google is working with Magic Leap. I'm just happy that it just hasn't died. And I didn't believe that it died, because the future, like, people are thinking smartwatches are the future interaction. I'm not wearing mine today because my strap broke. But I always, like, you see it in the movies all the time when people see these holographic images that are appearing and everything. And the thing is, to have real life holograms during the daytime, like you see in those dystopian movie futures and stuff, it's a little difficult. And guys, if you want to, I'll do a Q&A after the topic here. I don't mind spending a little good while talking with you guys today. So I definitely, if you have any questions for me, we'll do it. We'll do it in a little later. But I'll talk about my kid in a bit. But no, I'm glad that these two products are out, just because I'm so excited about augmented reality. It's even in my, and by the way, I got rid of the green screen because it was really annoying to deal with, and this is a little bit more natural. Yes, it's boring behind me, but it gives me a space to put these images properly. But it's, ever since I played with the Google Glass, it was just like, I can't wait for this technology to get perfected. I know a lot of people are scared of, the freaking, what's it called again? The NSA and everything, and who's spying on me and who can hack me and everything, and too much people's personal information is being out there. Like, being walk around, and as soon as I look at someone, I see their profile and all their information pop up online. Like, I know people are scared about that stuff. But at the same time, I think a lot of you should be excited about this technology, just because think about how much more useful it could be. Like, you see those conceptual videos, but being able to have like a HUD in your everyday view, whether it's you wearing glasses or even a step further, you putting your contact lens in and it becomes your AR HUD. And I'm all for it. I'll be one of the first people to get that if it comes out. And it's because, and the thing is, that Baby Bob, you said it exactly right. Oh, sorry, I forgot. I'm pronouncing it incorrectly. But essentially, yes, the technology is developing exponentially, like most technology does. The technology in this space has been growing. The reason why a lot of these companies, like Facebook and everything, are buying up these companies right now, it's not just because of the unit itself. It is also for in money terms, the sensors and the glass, the plastic, every little piece that's being developed for these units are worth a lot of money, and they are going to be worth a lot of money to the companies that want to develop their own but can't afford the R&D, and they're going to buy it from these respective companies. That's the business side of things. The user interface. Why would Facebook invest into technologies like the VR and everything? Is because they're looking into the future of how people are going to interact with each other. Google, why are they looking into this? Because the future of how people are going to be using their smart devices and living on an everyday life, it's going to be through augmented reality. A lot of us aren't ready for it. I'm waiting. I will embrace this thing like no other. Like how I see my child, I'll pick him right up. I'll pick it right up. It is the future of this tech, and just being able to walk down and just like, you don't have to take it. Like, even for me, the biggest thing is driving. I do a lot of driving in my life. Them putting, I'll put it this way, what will be cheaper? Them putting up a giant, this purple screen over your windshield, and then installing the cameras and different sensors to to go ahead and utilize it, and also the brightness to to deal with the lighting out there. Or you put on glasses, you put on a contact lens, and then you drive. What's cheaper for the consumer? And it's going to be that. Yes, more tech it's going to be involved in miniaturizing into this small frame than in a big scale. But people are doing that already today. It is not worth for your daily needs. So like, let's say you wanted to, if you bought, instead of spending $1,000 on a new phone, you can go out and get a Chromebook for like less than $200 and a Go phone for like nothing. You have all your needs. You have all your internet needs and your calling needs, but you want it all in one package. So you'll spend more to get it all in one instead of all these separate devices. And sort of similar with this AR implementation. Instead of installing apparatuses literally everywhere, the cost of that would be astronomical. Instead, you miniaturize it into a wearable technology that everyone can use, and then all you have to do is install a sensor. And in business case, that is a lot cheaper. So yes, everyday people aren't going to be able to enjoy it because they're not seeing what we're all seeing. But for those of you who decide to adopt this technology in the future, I'm not talking about now, it's going to happen. And they're already experimenting with this now. There are apps that are literally playing around with, like, if a store decides to put up a hotspot and a person is using this app, while they're looking at the map, boom, their location appears with an ad, with a deal, and you can go there. They're experimenting with that stuff now. They are not just doing it because it's a gimmick or another way for you to get coupons, because they're getting, it's just like self-driving cars. I know I'm going a little off topic right now, but think about this. They're not just like, so car companies aren't like, they're not putting electronic steering, electronic controls, electronic stability controls. They're not putting all this stuff in there just to make the cars more expensive and fancier. They're starting to prepare for autonomous driving cars. Nissan's doing it, Infinity's doing it, Honda's doing it. A lot of the other companies have already started doing it. And guess what? All of a sudden you saw Tesla's autopilot a couple years back. And all of a sudden, all the car companies are starting to have their own prototype autonomous driving models. It's not by accident. This has been going on. Even your adaptive cruise control, it's a computer handling your speed and everything. And then all of a sudden you saw the collision sensors. That's the car stopping for you. The car, it's all these little things that you guys are seeing incrementally are all adding up to a autonomous car. Just like these things, the wearable watch, the Google Glass that came out, the different lenses that they're using on this, the lightness of it, the portability of it, the different sensors. Can you go from multiple cameras to one camera? Or how, like, it's all coming, and then the sensors for the location data, all the information that not just Android but Apple, all these phone companies are collecting of where you are at, where you're checking into, where's the highest, like, all this is coming into an experience where then in the future, wake up, put on your glasses, turn it on, make sure it's charged, obviously, and you go about your day. You come on, you sit in your car, boom, the HUD appears, speedometer, map, traffic alerts, weather alerts, everything. And and then that goes hand in hand with your car. The cars are getting more and more sensors as they develop. I'm actually I said in my last week's video about the electric cars, I'm actually working with a couple car dealerships. I don't have that much time, but once I'm able to go out and actually do review videos of these cars, and not like, well, I mean, I'll do a sort of like what CNET does, like you review the tech of the vehicles, but I'm actually going to hopefully dive in a little bit more to show you guys how even a basic Honda Civic and a Hyundai Elantra has more technology in it than a freaking BMW 7 Series a couple years ago. I know right now, I won't get to politics, but like, technology is becoming more and more affordable. There are more features that are becoming standard. The fact that, like, seriously, some of these base cars that are coming out are coming with standard blindside sensors, collision warnings, collision sensors, like backup cameras. I mean, let's be honest, every car should have a backup camera by now. But the technology is becoming more and more affordable, and you guys shouldn't be surprised if within the next 5 years or less, you see a consumer-ready version of these headsets. And I'm not talking about like home and office use, but like the HoloLens. You make it slightly smaller, it's a fancy pair of sunglasses, and then you can wear it out in the real world. And they're obviously going to start experimenting in the more higher metropolitan areas like LA and New York City. But once that happens, sky's the limit. And then obviously we'll have different discussions by then in terms of like information protection, how much personal information should you give, how can you prevent someone from hacking into your system. There's a lot of weird things that can happen, but even for me, like even I look at when I look at these things, I really like even right now I'm diving into different scenarios. Like one positive thing I look forward to for this technology is like if everyone has it, or a vast majority of people, just like having smartphones. Let's say a disaster alert came, just like the whole Hawaii scare. So I mean, thank God nothing happened. But let's say if a missile was really inbound, a ballistic missile was really inbound. Being able to get alerts. So you get an alert on your phone. Most people, like most phones, have built-in emergency alert systems, and you get them. And most people, like even like with those annoying weather ones, you get it. But being able to take a step further, where it literally interrupts everything, you get the warning, and then immediately it says, you know, here's the directions to the nearest shelter. Here's directions to the nearest emergency center. Here's directions to like your important priority. It just literally starts guiding you. It's not just missile inbound or tornado inbound, seek shelter. It's literally boom, boom. It knows where you're at, knows where the clearest disaster area is, or the emergency centers are, or the safety radius. For me, I live near a nuclear power plant. It's literally 5 minutes from my house. If it were to have a leak, and I spoke with some of the engineers and I actually feel better about it, but God forbid there's a leak. But if there is, alert goes out, immediately tells me the safety zone. So I can get an alert that says drive 5 miles, 10 miles away from the epicenter immediately to be in the safe zone. But I'll be checking my phone each time, the Google Maps, and how far do I need to get, or like a certain direction. Or if it's really an emergency, get in my car with my family, start driving, and the sensors are already telling me like it's red. Like you literally have a map. Imagine your Google Maps in 3D in front of you, and you're driving along it, and that's where it's coming to. It's like a video game almost. Like it's lighting the green path of where you need to go, but it's telling me red, then turns green that you're safe. I just literally that just came to my mind. I just felt like I had to get that out. Sorry, doing live, but you know, you get thirsty. I know. One bad thing about doing live is you can script it all you want, but you can get off topic and it just goes, and I can't edit this. So you guys are seeing all my mistakes and my habits. Terrible. Thumbs down for that one, right? But I'm excited, guys. This is we're definitely heading in the right direction. There's a lot of naysayers saying that both headsets have no real world use. There's no purpose for them. Blah, blah, blah. Yes, I agree with you. There's no need for them right now. There's no need for them right now, as they are. You interact faster with your multiple monitors, your fast computer, your phone right now. You interact much faster. But it's the first step. It's the first baby step. It's got to happen. Even with virtual reality. The Virtual Boy had to happen. The first Oculus Rift. It was a sit-down experience, screen door effects galore. I used it. Programming nightmares. And this is where I'm going to come into the VR part of it. There was a ton of issues with the first one, but it was still fun. It was still fun to use, still awesome. And when the DK2 came out, the experience got better. It got smoother. The screen, it got a lot clearer. Now, was there still problems? Yes, there are still a plethora of problems. When the Gear VR came out, it solved the wire problem, but then there was other issues. The portable computing, the heating effect, and everything. Every time a new rendition came out, it solved something else, but it brought about new problems. Even when the Vive came out, oh, freedom of use. You can walk around. It was great. But the wire, oh my God, it's still a problem. Every time I try using it in my shop for a customer, the wire's always an issue. But guess what? The new version, there's a wireless unit. You can get a wireless adapter kit for it. Now, it's still a wire thing. You have to do it to a little box. But then the problem comes in, how smooth is the transmitter from that little transmitter to the computer? You know, I haven't tested it yet. I've heard 50-50 reviews on it, that it's been smooth. There's been some jitters, some delay effects. I didn't expect it to be perfect, but the thing is, the Magic Leap is using the same thing. They're using a box to communicate with a computer somewhere to handle most of the processing. And that's the biggest thing. A lot of people are like, I don't want to wear this big honking thing in my head, and you're not going to. Once they solve most of the issues, this is your computer. You put this in your pocket. The glasses have its own power unit and will be communicating with the phone, and the phone will do the processing for you. And we're getting there. A lot of people are thinking, well, that's going to be the amount of power it's going to take, and then the amount of the computing, the information that's go back, there's going to be delays. No. The Google Glass that came out years ago was smooth. That battery actually lasted a pretty decent amount from what I remember. I did a full day use out of it. Got my phone alerts, my text alerts, and everything. Battery was fine. I think I mostly used it for 2 days. The battery is an issue depending on how much power the thing has to use. A lot of you may be wondering, well, it's got to project an image, so it's going to use a lot of power for that little projector. But it's a projector. If it's small, it requires equivalently that much power. Lumens, right? You guys, oh, it needs brightness. LED lights, they're bright as hell. Well, not this. This is like not a good example, but in my shop, I have all LED lights. Lights my entire store. Energy bills, minuscule. It's gonna get there. Oh my God. And it's just, whew, it's good stuff. I mean, I brought this topic up today just because, like, I read about it and I was just like, oh, that's today's topic. They will. I mean, Leonard. Let's be honest. That if they're not working on another Google, and I was just asked, you know, they would just comment, they would make another Google Glass. You'd be foolish to think that they're not. I am wholeheartedly believing that they've been developing it after the first one, and then them investing in this company. It's like Google doesn't want to spend $2 billion to develop their own AR. That's a lot of money. Use other people's money. And so they probably have an agreement that they have rights to the text that they develop, the patents to this headset to use in their own. It would be foolish to believe otherwise. Because if they were not going to take stuff from here, I mean, yes, they think it might make money, but ultimately they want their own proprietary device for their Android devices. So I think they definitely are. Microsoft's definitely not sitting on this either. They're doing something. We're in good times, people. We're in good times. What sucks is I'm a little jealous of my son because by the time he's like 10 years old, like this is probably gonna be like the stuff that we're talking about. Like, all right, son, like here's your $1,000 pair of glasses that are not like Gucci. They're here's your Samsung glasses for $1,000. Oh my God, it's exciting times. This is why I'm also like not giving up on my channel, because like there's still a lot of good things to talk about outside of cell phones. Like, we don't need to be focusing on cell phones, people. Let's focus on like excuse my language, but the cool stuff. Cool stuff. This is all, this is exciting. And so the future is looking very good. Be damn sure that either by halfway through this year, or at least year end, or CES next year, you see the retail version of the Magic Leap come out, our consumer version of the Magic Leap, and the another version of the Microsoft HoloLens. These companies they're doubling down on it because it's going to be a war of attrition. Who's going to be the first one to have a fully portable consumer version that's better than the other? Oculus isn't quitting. They're coming out with their own new sensors. HTC is working on their wireless adapters. They're working on new hand sensors to compete. Because what's if I could take a fusion of HTC's sensors, headset, and then Oculus's comfort and their hand controls, I think we have the best current version of virtual reality right now. But that's not the case. But they're working on their own second versions and everything. So right now I'm also contemplating, because we have 2 HTC Vive units for our shop, to either sell those 2 so we can get the new one that's coming out. And it's always the case. Technology isn't cheap. You know, I picked a hell of the channel theme to revolve it around of stuff that I can barely afford. But it's okay. It's okay. We'll get through this. But guys, I'm gonna go ahead and leave it up to for you guys to open discussion. So if you have any questions for me, whether it's post recording, go ahead and leave a comment down below, and I'll respond to it. For the one comment I already responded to you, I'm not giving up on this channel because, you know, once again, I'm not doing. I mean, it'd be nice to get to 100,000 subscribers and get that silver button. You know, that'd be nice. But I'm mainly doing this because I have people that have followed me since I first started this channel, and I will, you know, they're the ones that helped me get to this point. That started my company, Gamers Heaven. They're the ones that inspired me to get to a point, and you know, they're the ones here. And the thing is, I look back and I miss talking with you guys. This was like, I miss talking about technology, because there were days, I will be honest, that I was like, oh man, I just can't record another video. I have nothing to talk about. I forgot, like, it's just not worth doing anymore. I did give up a couple times here and there, but the last couple weeks, me just committing to the even 30-minute videos a week, I've started getting back into the groove of just talking again, and just that interaction. And I do it for you guys. I mean, yes, shamelessly, this video is monetized. So is everything else. You know, gotta make something on the side. But at the end of the day, I'm mainly doing it for you. My production value, there is no production value. It's literally a webcam and a snowball mic. You know, I know a lot of you guys are here for just kind of the open discussion and hear my opinion on things, because a lot of you have grown to respect my opinion. So thank you. And I'm making this is my thanks back. It took me 2 years, but this is what I'm going to do. So that's my quick little thing there. But let's go ahead and dive in. So Leonard, Holly Evolution. Subscribe to his channel, by the way. I wonder what Samsung will do with their next VR. I'm wondering too. They made incremental improvements on their headsets. Not really. It's been pretty much the same the last couple generations. The main thing changing was mainly the phones. The one design change in the current generation I don't like is they cut off the sides because of the smaller phones. They got rid of the peripheral view that the other headsets used to have, but that's just a minor complaint. They've constantly made updates to the UI. Every time I occasionally just dive back in to see what they've done, and I'm really happy to see how far it's come. I do kind of miss the old one. I thought it was easy to navigate, but you know, they're going for Flash, so it's done well. But I feel like the phones are a lot more capable now, and really depending on what they do with they really got to start resetting their names. But the S9 at this point, and the Note 9 that'll come out later this year, they should be able to handle a lot more. So I'd be actually not surprised if they incorporate more AR into their VR headset. Another thing is more hand controls, and if not, being able to walk around. That'll be interesting. But there's only so much they can do with the cell phones, because the phones can only, I mean, they are getting more powerful, don't get me wrong, but there's only so much that it can handle without overheating itself in that small frame. The reason why you need a beast graphics card and computer for these virtual reality games is because it's a large environment they got to do. The Samsung VR is mainly projecting the environment around you, and most of the games are low graphic that you can go interact with them, but most of it's a video experience. The HTC Vive and Oculus Rift and PlayStation VR, it's using every bit of that every bit of the system to generate the world around you so you can go ahead and explore. But we'll go ahead and see. Leonard, the emulators. Like, I gotta be careful with that. I know people have made videos about it, but the last thing I want is the channel to get shut down because I made an illegal video. But at the end of the day, I know you've done it. Google. Like, there's so many sites that are blatant about it, especially with the Nintendo and Super Nintendo games and everything. Ooh, I was about to get in trouble there. I'm not going to go any further than that. I just came back. Don't shut down my channel. What's it called? But Babs. I'm gonna call you Babs. I forgot how to pronounce that name. But Babs, you asked about how my son's doing. He's doing okay. The little guy had the flu and an inner ear infection a few weeks ago, so he was suffering, and then immediately I followed suit. My wife followed suit. We were all miserable for a week, but he's doing better. But the kid has definitely started being more mobile. He's running around, standing up, climbing on things, falling off of things. And I think a lot of you fathers out there can agree. That's terrifying. It's so annoying. He keeps falling and hitting his head. I'm getting worried about his brain cells and everything, and if he's getting hurt, if he breaks his neck, and it's that first child mentality. I know for those of you who have multiple kids, are like, you scrub. This is my first child, so I have that. Like, I'm scared all the time with him, but he's doing good. He's babbling a lot. He's not really talking, which is worrying my parents, but I know he's understanding. He's mimicking me a lot. If anything, here, let me show you guys a picture. So it's my my background image. So if you guys can see, I'm in there. So him, that's my wife, by the way. But so you guys see him there, him sticking out his tongue. I literally, no joke, I just stuck my tongue out once. I was like, and then he started doing it. And now every time he sees me, he sticks out his tongue. My dad warned me, kids are very impressionable. They will literally imitate you. And now he also does the whole, like, when I get a headache, I do this. He started doing this. In Korean culture, to punish the kids, sometimes you make them sit on their knees and put your hands up. And I was just like, all right, June, it's like, I always joke around. I was like, all right, I'm gonna punish you for talking back to me, which he started doing, by the way. Put your hands up and hold them, and he tells that it's been fun. Fatherhood's been interesting. That's my personal channel topic and stuff. But it's been definitely a journey. I was actually hoping to do more videos like baby tech videos and stuff, but I voted against it. Just because my wife and my family did too. They told me not to exploit my son. He's very adorable. I thought I could exploit him a lot. But just there's really, baby tech videos isn't kind of what I started this channel for, so I avoided it. But yeah, if you guys are interested in like kind of my personal vlogs, I'm gonna be starting to do them on my personal channel, Andrew Huang, just literally my name. It's in my related channels there. It's only a couple hundred people, but I'm mainly doing that channel as like a personal diary, and that's actually gonna be starting up soon too. So if you want to get to know me personally, that's the channel to follow. But let me see here. Oh, first of all, Leonard, congratulations getting married in April. An actual ceremony, right? Not like mine, where we just did the courthouse and we haven't had a ceremony yet. Shame on me. Hopefully this whole business succeeds finally and we can actually do that. But what would you like to see with the smartwatches? And that is a topic that I actually want to save for another week, because that's actually one of the topics I wanted to talk about, because lately I feel like the watches have gone stale. I personally believe so. And don't get me wrong, I've checked out all the new watches. My one employee got the newest, the new gear. Looked at the new Apple watches. It's all the same. It really is. Improved glass, improved battery, improved processor. Put that aside. I still prefer the Gear S. And this is now not me. This is me now not being biased. This watch came out 4 years ago, 5 years ago at this point. I still feel like it's better. I still feel like the original Gear S, the watch that really started my channel, a lot of people might think that's a biased opinion, but I still feel like that's the best watch still. The one major flaw, or two major flaws, was the band and the charging sensor and the dock. If the Gear S, if honestly Samsung released the original Gear S with the updated screens and processor and batteries, still with the SIM card slot and everything, if in the internal memory, if they release that exact watch with an improved band section where you can put custom bands and everything, including the metal ones if people want the metal, and then if they put those wireless charge dock in it, the ones that, you know, the magnetic ones now, the new ones, it'd be perfect. I would wear that shit. Oh, sorry. Oh, I would wear that. This is live. I would wear that every day. I miss that watch. The reason why I got the Gear Fit is because it's the closest thing that resembles it. It's fine. It works, but I miss my Gear S. I really do. I know some of you have messaged me telling me that your guys still work, and I'm jealous. I literally beat the crap out of mine for my channel. For you guys. The reason why it didn't last so long is because I literally put it through hell. The fact that it lasted long as it did, that's why it's still king. Stop telling me that. No, Perry, no. I had a subscriber randomly come up to me at Costco and was like, look what I got. I'm like, I miss it. I'm jealous. I hope your guys, like, what's it called? Like, let me, actually for the Perry, perfect example. Someone on my live stream says they still have it. Do you still, I mean, am I wrong in saying that the current watches haven't really been that appealing? Because back in my use case, after the 1 year video that I made for that video, my smartwatches, my take on smartwatch, and I'm going to end up repeating stuff in my next week's video, but all the standalone functions, being able to take calls on it, all that stuff were gimmicks that I never really used afterwards. My Gear S, I ended up mainly using it for in case I lost my phone. I left it at home. I was still able to get forwarded calls, so I didn't miss any calls. I got my forwarded emails, forwarded text messages, so it was a nice backup. He was, Philadelphia Eagles, guys. The Gear S was my Nick Foles to my Carson Wentz. Go Eagles. Yes, I'm an Eagles fan. I didn't destroy my own city, so don't worry. You know, so just no judgment. But it's, I mainly use my watch for the notifications, a couple of the fitness apps, and when I did go run, when I used to work at my company, there was a nice running path. I didn't have to carry my phone around those weird armbands or my pockets. Bluetooth headset and a watch. That's all you needed, and go. It had GPS tracking. It had the calorie readers. It had internal memory so I can store music. But most importantly, I could run streaming apps. So I had Pandora and the Milk app running wirelessly through the watch to the 3G services. That was so clutch. This is 4 or 5 years ago. That's all I needed. And it had the capabilities for NFC things. So if Samsung Pay was available at the time, pretty sure it would have been a part of it. It's a part of the stuff now. And the most importantly, I loved the design of it. It was plastic, so it wasn't susceptible to being accidentally nicked. So if you had a stainless steel watch, if you accidentally nick it, I'm an active person. That's why I don't really wear watches, because I always end up hitting every surface with it. The Gear S was light. It was durable. Water. Dear God. Those of you who subscribe to my channel, you've seen those videos. They can handle it. Those tests I probably wouldn't do with the current watches because they're fragile. I mean, they're still strong, don't get me wrong, but throwing across a parking lot to prove that it's durable, I wouldn't do it because it'll scratch the living hell out of it. And it won't look good as anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it's stainless, so you can go put it in water. It might not rust, but it still could. Like, there's so many things that can go wrong with the current watches. I mean, don't get me wrong. I bet they're fine. Bet they're durable and everything, but I don't get the same feeling of security and durability than I did with the Gear S. That's my take on it. Let's take a look here. Like I said, I would like to have a video chat on a watch. You see, I feel like that's, you see, having the video chat like this, like the Gear 2 had the camera on it, was cool. No use for it. It's so obvious when you're taking pictures like, it's such a weird internet. It's no need for it. But that's where the AR stuff comes into play. Because like having a video chat like this is very annoying. It's burdensome on your arm and you do get tired. You always end up switching arms, right? Doing this will get much more annoying. But being able to just sit down and just have a discussion like this, perfect. Let me see here. All right, I have the Gear S2. I like Samsung Pay and the rotating bezel. I know the rotating bezel is nice, but I just don't like round designs. I don't know. I already talked in length about that before. What? That the metal band still you still rocking that? Perry Freeman. So for those of you who have recently followed me, I sold when the Gear S came out, there were no alternative bands out. Samsung literally fell through on its promise to release different bands. So I imported a couple custom metal bands from Korea and sold them kind of like throughout the world. I actually sold a decent amount of them. I ended up losing money on that, by the way, just because the cost of shipping and having to buy from this guy and sell, it was just a nightmare. Good learning experience though. But it's wow, that metal band is still going strong. Touche. I was getting a couple like mine actually yeah, mine lasted till it broke too. But damn. Thank you. Oh man. All right, guys. But I'm approaching the 1 hour mark here. Wow, thank you for joining me, guys, this late. But if you guys have any questions, please go ahead and ask me now while you have me. I will be back on next week, hopefully a little bit earlier, around maybe 7, 8 o'clock. Today I went a little bit late because I had a business investors meeting for my Gamers Heaven business, so that did take some time. So I do apologize for the late start. Next week we'll start a little bit earlier, so hopefully more of you can join. But yeah, I think there's no more questions, so let's go ahead and do closing remarks. There's no closing remarks. Those of you who join me live, always a pleasure. For those of you watching the post recording, once again, please, if you have any questions or suggestions of topics you want me to talk about in the coming videos, please leave them in the comment section down below, and I will talk about it. You know, I'm doing this impromptu every week. Oh, ironically, my wife is actually. Let's put her on the stream. We're doing this live, honey. You're on the live stream. Say say hi to the subscribers.
Bye.
Oh, there's a delay. Is June awake?
No, he's asleep.
Oh, boo. All right. I'll call you back. I'll give you a call back.
Okay, then.
All right. The things that happen when you're doing things live. Yeah, actually, I should have been home a good while ago, actually. But yeah, thank you guys. I know I'm gonna get the one dude that leaves a thumbs down, but please go ahead and leave a thumbs up if you like this video, and just I will be starting up the Patreon soon. I've been getting a lot of messages from you guys about doing that, so I will do that because we're starting to double down on just staying in our current location and really getting back onto YouTube. I'm actually really being serious about that, just because you know, I'm getting back to my roots, and that's kind of what I'm trying to do. So look forward to that in the dealership videos. The reason for the Patreon is going to be to pay for certain techs that I normally wouldn't be able to get to review, but mainly to be able to go out, get some portable equipment so I can go ahead and record. I had to sell off my old camera and stuff, so that's why I'm kind of resorting to using a webcam. But if I can go ahead and get some equipment to go out and record portably for these car dealerships, and these when I go to different stores to check out the new pieces of tech and everything, I can record on the spot. as well as even borrow. We'll just see. It's also to try and get an editor to help edit some of the post recordings. The reason why I'm doing things live is because I don't have unfortunately, the resources and time to edit afterwards and everything. It's I could do a quick edit and stuff here, but unfortunately it's running a business, family, and being a trying YouTuber at the same time. It's a large juggling act. But like I told you guys a couple weeks ago, I'm going to continue this. So please leave me suggestions on what topics you'd like to hear me talk about. If you want me to do a phone comparison, that will take me a little bit of time. Sorry, my glass is a little weird. Just because I do have to research the phones a little bit more in depth, but really none of the phones really have excited me. That's why I really didn't do much last year. Just nothing really stuck out to me. I saw the iPhone X presentation. I was just like, all right, I guess I got to talk about this. And it's just, yeah. It's one of those things there. So topics that you guys can look forward to is obviously I'll be diving more in depth about the smartwatches coming up. Be talking about the recent virtual reality units and see how they're doing. 360 cameras and 360 technology and overall, and that topic's gonna be on long lines with virtual reality and why those two go hand in hand. And then I'll be talking about TVs because it's going crazy. You didn't like the S8? No, I liked the S8. I did. I really did. But I couldn't. What's it called? I upgraded to the S7 right before the S8 came out. So that's why I don't have the S8. My wife has the S8. I got to play around with it for like a day. And this is like right before I did a failed expansion last year. That's why I couldn't record a video. I still have the B-roll of me of shooting the S8 comparison. I just didn't get around to making it. And by this point, it's a year later. There's no point in me making an S8 video. But no, I don't have an S8 because I was impatient with the phone. I should have kept all I had was the Note 4. I was gonna get the Note 7, but then that whole debacle happened. So, the thing is, looking back, I should have just waited. The thing is, I got a real good deal on the S7 Edge, so that's why I got it. But I really should have just waited. My Note 4 was just fine. I actually turned it on the last weekend. It was running better than my S7, which confuses the hell out of me. So that's a whole other can of worms to open. But gonna go ahead and end the video here, guys. I know I just said that, but please go ahead and leave a thumbs up if you liked this live stream. If you are new to this channel, thank you for subscribing. If you haven't already done so, please do hit that subscribe button. It does help. Every subscription does help to help propel this channel into where it needs to get to. If you like some of my older content, that's the kind of stuff I hope to get back to with your support going forward. So fingers crossed on that. And then obviously, once again, please go ahead and leave a comment down below. But last minute here, guys. So thank you guys again for joining me live. Perry, Leonard, Holiday. What we got here? Babs, Yosef. We got here, and then Damien. Thank you guys for joining me live. I appreciate you guys doing that, and like I said, hopefully next week I'll do a little bit earlier. Go there, and then hopefully we'll see some more production value go up. I'm trying to spice up the live streams a little bit more, but ever since we moved into this closet setup instead of out there, it's kind of limited what I can do, but it's also cleaned it up a little bit. So yeah, this little tour of this space, you can see it's really the closet. Oh, the green screen effect is still going on. So yeah, we're in a closet space, but the computer's down there and the audio mixer. So that's currently my setup right now. Ooh, but we'll get there. But yeah, once again, thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you guys in the next live stream. Take care.